Subscribe to the channel, do it now. News stories every day. Now let's get started. I never imagined our marriage would crumble the way it did, especially not after 10 years of sharing a life, a home, and child. My name is Chase, and for the past year, my wife Valerie and I have been stuck in a cycle of arguments that always ended in slammed doors or smashed plates. The problem was never just one thing. Sometimes she accused me of never being home. Sometimes I complained that she undervalued my efforts. It felt like we were each hurting, yet neither of us knew how to ease the other's pain. A tense home. We've been married since I was 25 and she was 23. Our son Owen arrived just 2 years into our marriage, a bright kid with an easy smile and a fascination for dinosaurs. For a long while, I thought we had it all: a cozy house in the suburbs, a decent income from my job as a construction supervisor, and Valerie's flexible hours as a freelance designer, which let her spend a lot of time with Owen. But over the past year, things grew tense. We argued about small details like who forgot to buy milk, and big stuff like how she felt I was never around enough. I'd say, I'm out on site every day to keep us comfortable. And she'd snap back, what's comfort worth if I never see you? We break off, each nursing bruised egos, waiting for the next round. Then came the last major fight that sealed our fate. We were in the kitchen, dishes in the sink, tension so thick you could almost taste it. She lashed out, you don't appreciate me at all. All you do is work, come home tired, and give me zero affection. Maybe I should find someone else to appreciate me. Anger flared in me. Go ahead then, I spat. Do what you want. Her eyes blazed and she screamed, maybe I will. Maybe I'll cheat and finally feel better. Without thinking, I yelled, fine, do it. See if I care. I wanted her to see how ridiculous she sounded. I never thought she'd actually act on it. An ominous calm. That night, I slept on the couch. She locked herself in our bedroom, presumably too furious to face me. The next morning, we operated in a stiff silence. Valerie poured cereal for Owen. I drank coffee, each of us too proud to break the ice. Over the next few weeks, the arguments continued, but she no longer threatened to cheat. She just gave me cold shoulders and snappy remarks. One day, I came home early, hoping to surprise her with groceries for a nice dinner. She was on the phone, talking in hushed tones, ending the call abruptly when she noticed me. When I asked who it was, she responded, just a client, then walked away. At that moment, my stomach twisted with unease, but I pushed it aside. We both said things we didn't mean, right? She wouldn't actually cheat. She was too loyal. This was the mother of my child. An unexpected clue. Late one evening, I found her phone lying on the coffee table while she was in the shower. Normally, I'd never snoop, but the screen kept lighting up with messages. Last night was amazing. When can I see you again? My heart hammered, but I told myself maybe it was a misunderstanding. Then another message popped up. You free next Tuesday? I can pick you up where we met last time. I recognized the phone number. It wasn't anyone from her family or a coworker I knew. Anxiety churned in my gut. But I left the phone untouched, telling myself I'd gather more facts rather than act on suspicion. If I accused her wrongly, I'd be the villain. So I waited, heart heavy. The missing evening. The following Tuesday, Valerie said she had a meeting with a new design client out of town and that she wouldn't be back until late. I kissed Owen goodnight, battling the dread that gnawed at me. In the morning, I noticed her car was in the driveway, but she was gone, already out for coffee or so. The note on the fridge said, except, when I stepped into the garage to grab some tools, I noticed her trunk was slightly ajar. Peering in, I saw a scrap of paper stuck to the inside. It was half a receipt from a restaurant in the next county over, definitely not a coffee shop. Confronting the evidence. By now, it felt like the walls were closing in. I decided I had to know. That night, I pretended to fall asleep on the couch. She thought I was out cold. Then I crept quietly up to the bedroom, found her phone on the nightstand. My conscience screamed at me to stop, but I had to see. I've opened her messaging app and discovered a thread with Trevor. The most recent text sent around midnight read, Trevor, I miss you already. Last night was incredible. Wish I could hold you again. Valerie, me too. Thank you for making me feel alive. Alive. My heart sank. She'd actually done it. She'd taken my angry, half-dared permission and used it to justify an affair. Tears blurred my vision. I quietly placed the phone back. feeling rage, betrayal, sorrow all at once. A painful revelation. The next morning, I confronted her as she came into the kitchen, hair damp from a shower, an almost serene glow on her face. I couldn't bear to pretend any longer. "Valerie," I said, my voice trembling. "Who's Trevor?" She froze, mug of coffee in her hand. "Trevor, he's a client," she lied. I forced out a bitter laugh. "A client who sends you messages about how last night was incredible. Spare me." Her eyes widened, tears threatening. You went through my phone?" "Yeah," I snapped. "After you told me you might cheat, if that's what it took to feel better." I got worried. Guess I had every reason to be. She set the coffee mug down with a shaky hand. You said I could. You practically gave me permission that night we fought. You said, go ahead." "Don't pin this on me," I interrupted, voice rising. "I never thought you'd actually do it, damn it. I was mad," we were yelling. "I didn't mean it." She wilted. Tears slicked down her cheeks. "I'm sorry, Chase. I was so angry, and I felt unloved, underappreciated. Then Trevor was so sweet, and I messed up." I stared at her, the weight of betrayal crushing me. "Who is he?" She sniffled, wiping her face. "He's a guy I met at a design expo." We started talking. It became more. "Just a few times, I swear. I never meant to." "You never meant to," I repeated, outraged. "Yet you did. You broke our vows, our family, and for what? Some cheap thrill because we were fighting." She sobbed, reaching out for my arm. "Please, let's fix this. We have Owen. I don't want to break our family apart." Walking away, I yanked my arm free. "It's too late. You had a choice, and you made it." In the living room, Owen had just woken up, rubbing his eyes. He glanced at us, confused by the shouting. My heart ached for him. We were about to tear his world apart. Valerie sniffed, lowering her voice. "Owen, sweetie, go to your room. Mommy and Daddy need to talk." He hesitated, tears forming in his eyes, but he obeyed. As soon as he was gone, I turned to her, voice strained. "I'm not staying. I can't. Every time I look at you now, all I see is him." She shook her head, desperation etched on her face. "Please, Chase, I'll do anything. I'll quit my job. I'll change my number. Just don't go." I swallowed hard, tears threatening to break my own composure. "If you truly loved me, you would have fought for us before stepping out. You'd have tried counseling, done something. But you used my words as an excuse. That's not love." She broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. "I was so angry. You're never home. We never talk. Everything is an argument." I snapped. I wanted to feel something again, and Trevor, he was there. "Congratulations," I said bitterly. "You felt something. But it cost us everything." Aftermath. Within days, I moved out, staying with a friend while I filed for divorce. We arranged a temporary custody schedule for Owen, trying to shield him from the brunt of our anger. Valerie begged me to reconsider, apologized 1,000 times, offered to let me read every text message on her phone. But the damage was done. Months passed in a haze. I tried to keep busy with work, occasionally meeting with a divorce lawyer to finalize details. People who heard about the situation told me at least she was honest after you confronted her, or she only cheated because you told her to. None of that made me feel better. The betrayal was real, and I couldn't unfeel it. She ended her fling with Trevor quickly, apparently. I guess the excitement wasn't worth the devastation it caused. She tried to show me she was serious about redemption. She changed her phone number, wrote me letters explaining how lost she'd felt, but I remained resolute. Some lines, once crossed, can't be redrawn. In the end, the divorce went through with minimal drama. We sold our house, split the proceeds, and I found a small apartment. Owen rotates between us. Sometimes when I see Valerie picking him up, a flicker of the old warmth passes between us, but it's overshadowed by the memory of that morning, her tearful admission. I wonder if she regrets it more than anything, or if part of her is relieved to be free from the fights, maybe both. A note of reflection. I share this story as a cautionary tale. Anger and frustration can make you say things you don't mean, like telling your spouse to do whatever you want, even if it's cheating. But words have power. If the other person is already teetering on the brink, they might just take your outburst as permission. By the time you realize your mistake, the damage is beyond repair. For me, it's been a painful journey, but I'm learning to move forward. My priority is Owen's well-being. I've started therapy and discovered that letting go of resentment is easier said than done. Yet each day, the pain fades a little, replaced by a cautious hope that the next relationship I enter will be built on better communication and never again on an angry dare. That's how I lost my 10-year marriage to an ill timed challenge and a wife who was looking for an escape. We might have found a kinder path if we'd sought help earlier, but the truth is, sometimes love just isn't enough when trust and respect erode.